What is going on, everybody? And before I start off this video, I would like to say I do not own the rights to these clips, so I will have their channels in the descriptions. You can go check them out. Now, this is my prediction on who I think will go top 10 in the NBA draft tomorrow. Now, first overall, it's really obvious. They came out and said it themselves. The Philadelphia 76ers will take Markelle Fultz. Now, this wouldn't have been possible if they didn't make the trade with the Boston Celtics. So now them and the Boston Celtics traded picks. So Boston will select third and Markelle Fultz will go first to the 76ers. Now, this kid, he led all Power 5 conferences in scoring, and he's really shifty. He's explosive. He can finish at the rim. He's not that big, but he's big enough to where he can finish at the rim. I kind of look at him as a D'Angelo Russell type, and that's a good thing. It also be a bad thing. He kind of gets the James Harden comparison too, because his attitude, heart, and desire, it's not really there, and like he plays within himself. Besides, instead of getting his teammates involved, and his basketball IQ, he still needs to, kind of learn the point guard position, and really needs to learn within a good system. And I think him with Philly will actually be a very good fit for him. With the second pick, I have Lonzo Ball going to the Lakers. This is kind of obvious, despite the reports of, oh, they might take De'Aaron Fox, or he's out of shape, his conditioning is not as well. I don't see that happen. All that stuff that you heard, it was really lies. They're gonna take Lonzo Ball. Now, the trade that just happened yesterday with D'Angelo going to the Nets was really shocking. So now it's definite that Lonzo will have his chance to shine. Now, who they'll get at that 2 spot is more than likely Jordan Clarkson, unless they pull off a trade to get Paul George, as many reports are saying that they're trying to do. But Lonzo is a very good pass-first point guard. He can score really well. He's very good in the transition. Only things that'll really hinder him, like his weaknesses, he's undersized for his position to be at like that height. Question is, can he create his own offense? Well, can he create his own when the offense breaks down? Develop his good basketball IQ, know when to pass more, and know when to actually take over a game more, and work on his pick and roll defense and his pick and roll offense. He didn't run that much pick and roll at UCLA, and his pick and roll defense, it'd be easier for players to go right by him. With the third pick, I actually have the Boston Celtics taking Jayson Tatum. When I was doing this last night, I originally had Josh Jackson, but with the reports coming out of they just now got his medical history and he still won't take a workout for him, it looks like he's not really going to take a workout for him. I got the Celtics taking Jayson Tatum. This guy reminds me a lot of Danny Granger. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He was one of the best scoring small forwards in the league. Could post you up, face up, ISO, catch and shoot. I see a lot of Danny Granger in Jayson Tatum. He's an okay two-way player. He's okay on defense. He has broad shoulders and everything. What he really needs to work on is really his strength. Yeah, he ran the small ball 4 and it actually worked for Duke, but I think once he grows, he needs to grow into his NBA body. So once he actually grows into it, I think he'll be a very good player for him. Average 15 to 17 points, starting off, and then the later he progresses, he'll be a 20+ point scorer. And he also needs to work on his spot up game. His spot up game is iffy at times, but once he cleans that up, I think the Celtics have a very good player on their hands. But they're gonna have a lot of small forwards, so they're gonna need to figure out where he can actually fit in at. Now this leads me to the fourth pick, and this is my pick to win Rookie of the Year. I think he will end up the best player out of this draft. I want to hear who do y'all think would be the best player in this draft and who will win Rookie of the Year. But I got the Suns taking Josh Jackson. Now this kid right here, I know this little highlight snippet that you're gonna see, it's all dunks. but really looking at him at Kansas, he was a great two-way player. I kind of give him the Andrew Wiggins / Jimmy Butler kind of build, where he was really athletic as Andrew Wiggins. He's shown signs of a jumper, but it wasn't there yet. But he had the defensive intensity and the blue collar work ethic of a Jimmy Butler. And that's what the Suns are really missing, is a great wing player to go with all the talent that is surrounding them. So I got the Suns taking him with the 4th pick, and I think, like I said, I think he'll end up being the best player out of this class. He is, like I said, with that, he's an inconsistent shooter, and he tends to be aggressive on defense, so he will get a lot of fouls. And I think once he cleans all that up and he becomes, I can see him averaging 20 points. He'll be like Wiggins, where he just grew. Once he starts developing that, that's when we'll see his ceiling start to grow. Josh Jackson is my favorite player out of this draft, but De'Aaron Fox, I really think he's going to be the best point guard out of this draft. Me and my boy Trey, we always go back and forth between Fox and Ball. I think Fox will really be the best point guard out of this draft. So I got the Sacramento Kings taking him 5th overall. This kid, John Wall, has said it himself. He's basically him, except he's a lefty. He's really shifty, explosive, can run the pick and roll very well. He's quick on defense. The only problems that will actually hinder him is he's really small. He's not even 200 pounds yet. So I think once he gets more muscle on him, that's when you'll see him really attack the rim with no regrets, like he already does now. Like, looking at him at Kentucky, he just was killing everybody. Even the 2 times when they played UCLA, as you see right here, I think UCLA ended up winning this game, but him and Ball were matched, basically neck to neck. But then when they met in the tournament, like, De'Aaron Fox just absolutely blew him out the water. I think he had like 40 points and 10 rebounds, and they was running pick and rolls off of him, which is really well for him. But if Fox can get a really consistent jumper and he can still, work on the point guard position, really figuring it out, I think he's gonna end up being the best point guard in this draft out of everybody. This pick, this is the most intriguing player out of this top 10. It is Jonathan Isaac out of Florida State. I didn't watch him a lot, but the games I did watch him when it was on ESPN or when they played in the tournament, this kid's ceiling is really through the roof. Now, when I was looking up who his comparison is, it told me Rashard Lewis and Kevin Durant. I know Kevin Durant, it's kind of wild, but the whole Kevin Durant thing, that's with his height. So, and like the way he's built like, I can kind of see it. He's built like Kevin Durant. Looking at him at Florida State, he was really, really explosive. He can kind of be like a good ball handler. He was good on the glass. He was okay at shooting. He needs to really touch it up, but his ceiling is really through the roof. He was a good two-way player for them. So I think, but one thing that kind of hinders him, he relies on his height more instead of his strength, which is totally understandable when you're that tall and you don't have that much like muscle on you. Then you're gonna rely on your height to basically bail you out of everything. But I think once he gets there, I think the Orlando Magic have a very good player on their hands in Jonathan Isaac, and I think he can end up becoming their team leader very quickly. Now with the 7th pick, I was flip-flopping between them. I was flip-flopping between Lauri Markkanen, I don't know if I said his name right, and Jonathan Isaac with this 7th pick with the Wolves. But I had Isaac just go to the Magic. So with the 7th pick, I actually have Markkanen going to the Timberwolves. Now, looking at him, he's built like Porzingis. So I'll kind of say he is Porzingis. He just doesn't have the defense on him. I'll say he's kind of like Dirk. I'm not saying he will turn into Dirk, but like looking at him, he's like a Dirk Porzingis hybrid. But he can score off the post, even though it needs a little bit of work. He can really, he's a good face-up 4 or 5, depends on what you need. He needs to put more muscle on him, so that's why I say Porzingis. He needs to work on his defense, so that's where like the whole Dirk thing comes in, because he is tall and lanky. He can score it in a plethora of ways. So I think once he actually gets that down, I think him with that young core of Minnesota, he can easily become that 15-point scorer. He can easily fill the spot for Towns, and in a few years they can actually make some noise in the playoffs and possibly make a deep playoff run. With the 8th pick, I see the Knicks taking Malik Monk. Now, who knows if they're actually going to do this, because it is Phil Jackson, and that whole debacle that's going on in New York right now is not really helping them. But I think they end up taking Malik Monk. This guy can score out the gym. I looked at his NBA comparison. They say CJ McCollum, and I can really see it. Somebody who can really shoot out the catch and shoot, or can create their own dribble, can run in a half-court offense, or can run more up-tempo than anything. He is not afraid of the big moment. As you see right here, this is his highlights from when he dropped 47 on North Carolina. This kid has a very high ceiling. When I first seen him in college, I gave him the Bradley Beal comparison, but I was like, but now the more I look at it, I see more of the CJ McCollum in him. He needs strength on defense. He needs to work on his basketball IQ if he wants to be a ball handler, because he is 6'3", so he has that undersized. But I think if they get him, I think the Knicks, hopefully they know how to use him, and we'll see what they do with him. With the 9th pick, I see Dallas taking Dennis Smith Jr. Now, this kid, he was hindered with this torn ACL, I think his senior year of high school. So he's kind of, this would be his second year of playing off of that injury. He went to NC State for 1 year. He was one of the best freshmen in the college. He didn't really get that recognition because he went to NC State. Most of these kids that go to like smaller colleges don't really get the recognition because of that college, but when you really look at their film and break it down, you can see the potential in them, kind of like Markelle Fultz. Dennis Smith, he's the most athletic player in this draft. Is he gonna make an immediate impact? No, because he did go to NC State, and it was like he was more about himself instead of playing within a 5-on-5 system. He wanted to play more 1-on-5. And I think that's gonna be one thing that kind of hurts him, is his attitude, his heart, and his desire to like really win. Because it's like he didn't really do that well at NC State. You could at least took him like to like an NIT tournament appearance, maybe. But I think once he gets that and starts learning the point guard position more and plays within a 5-on-5 system, I think he could become a good 15-point, 5 rebound, 6 assist player for the Mavs. So I see him doing good for the Mavericks. Now, this guy right here, I don't know anything about him. All I know is his first name is Frank. Don't ask me to pronounce his last name, because I could not do it. He played over in France. I guess he'll be a very good player. I looked at his NBA comparison. They gave him Dante Exum. I don't know if that's really fitting, because it was a really high ceiling for Dante Exum coming out of Australia, and he just never developed because he couldn't stay healthy. But I guess looking by this, he can actually shoot, create his own shot. He can create not only for himself but for his teammates. He's really undersized, so once he gets more muscle on him, he can actually be able to dominate a game. What pick is this? I think this is Sacramento. Yes, I got him taking two guards. Maybe one could play point guard, the other could play shooting guard. I don't know, but he needs to learn the NBA game, which he will, and he needs to put some more muscle on him. But this is it. Let me know who y'all think will go top 10 in the draft tomorrow. Y'all predictions, trades, anything. But like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you enjoyed, and I will be back with y'all maybe after the draft.